Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here today with Ivana Tomic, who is the founder of J2 Collection. Now, what is J2 Collection? Well, it's actually now a series of three divisions: Journey to Croatia, which is one of my favorite countries; Journey to Slovenia, which I have yet to be to actually; and finally, Journey to Montenegro, which I've always wanted to go to. So, we're going to talk to Ivana about her company and actually this recent addition of Slovenia and Montenegro. And you'll hear from that and a whole lot more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Ivana, first of all, great to meet you and great to see you. I think we were supposed to get together, I think at ILTM or something, but it didn't really work out. Did about 40 interviews over there, and I'm sort of catching up now to the ones we didn't get to. But let's talk about J2 Collection. What's kind of the history of your company? When did you start it?
So yeah, it's very nice to see you and meet you in this way. But yes, we should have a meeting in Cannes, but you know how Cannes is. Everything
Yeah, I
is
know it's crazy.
too crazy
It
and
was the
hectic
big. It
and
was the
everything.
biggest ILTM ever.
That's what I heard also. Yeah, and then you had a great. I know you had a great interviews with Manola and Marcos, and yeah, I loved both of these properties that you had. But yeah, somehow we missed each other. Yes, I'm the founder of G2 Collection. So it's a collection of three brands, as you mentioned. Firstly, my baby company was a Journey to Croatia, and that's
Okay.
how everybody knows me through Journey to Croatia.
And when
That's
did
how,
you start that?
that was around. I started in a business in the travel industry in New York for approximately 15 years ago, but I returned back home because of the family, and I opened my company. It's more than 12, 13 years ago, around that
Okay.
time, that I opened the Journey to Croatia. And that was my baby. And we started to work only with US clients. And still, 99% of business is coming from US.
That's great.
Yeah, started in New York, and that's how I got the connections and insider tips. And I knew how people are, what they want, how they want to travel. I work a little closely there with the travel advisors. So I had some tips and tricks and had very, very good support of one good company in New York. And I came home and they told me, look, we should work together in Croatia. Let's start a business because I was helping them in New York part
Okay.
time, and then let's start. And I opened the company, and I was planning to be one man show, one man business, but
Right.
somehow it became a little bigger,
Okay.
not so bigger, but a little bigger. And after like 7, 8 years working just in Croatia, we just got the a lot of requests for Montenegro and for Slovenia, and
Right.
then it was mostly ads on Croatia, and Montenegro and Slovenia were ads on Croatia, so it was more like a 3, 4 night stay before or after the Croatia, and business started growing and growing and growing. And I was saying, like, you listen, we need to expand more. We need to offer more Croatia and Slovenia because, firstly, Montenegro, because it became very popular because of the big hotel name groups. So first was
Yeah.
Aman, and then was One and Only, and then there One and Only was the last one. The region was there. So many new hotels were opening, and people starts to hear more about Montenegro. So firstly, Montenegro grew, and then at the end, my very, I love Slovenia, and very, it's very green country. They are
Very,
working
very,
totally
very mountainous. Very
different.
mountainous too. It's kind of like I hear it's
Yes,
like a less expensive Switzerland.
that's true. That's true. Definitely, I think everything is less expensive than this. So, and yes, Slovenia became one of my, I would say, favorite countries because
Right.
of green, and because of the way how they live and work and look at the world. And it's everything is sustainable, everything is local, everything is totally in a different, going different direction than any other country in the region. So we said let's expand more into Slovenia. And everything was also still under the Croatia journey to Croatia.
Sure.
And in the last 2 years, I was always saying, like, let's expand, let's do rebranding. And agents knew that we are offering Slovenia and Montenegro, but not everybody knew.
Okay.
So
So now
that's
you wanted to brand it more. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's how the new collection started. And then we rebranded to three brands: Journey to Croatia, Journey to Slovenia, and Journey to Montenegro. And business is the same. So the same level of services that we have in Croatia, we have in Slovenia and Montenegro. And I would say this will grow more, but not in the terms of more business wide. It will be more promotion wide. So we want to promote our partners, about services, everything that is happening in Slovenia and Montenegro. So this is still a baby, and we are planning to work on it more into next 2 years and see where that goes. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because when I was in Dubrovnik last, Montenegro is not too far away. So, it was just like, I should go there. I didn't realize it was that close. And then, of course, Slovenia is not that far away either. So it seems like a natural for people who want to explore the entire region. And now you offer programs in all three countries.
Exactly. And it's much, for example, what is a huge plus, Croatia is in European Union. There is no borders anymore. So many US clients were always needed a connection flights. Mm-hmm. So now we like majority of our clients are flying to Venice.
Oh, really?
And then from Venice, you can come very easily in a few hours to Slovenia or Croatia. So it's a very good connection. And you can fly home or arrive also to Dubrovnik, where it's also direct flights.
Yeah, there's a lot more flights to Dubrovnik. I mean, that was a few years ago when they started putting in direct flights to Dubrovnik. Now, talk about one of the kind of tour products you offer. I assume you're doing a lot of FIT, creating specialized tours for both individuals and maybe some groups, right?
So majority of our business, as you said, is FITs. It's groups, not the big groups. So what we are mostly having the groups that we had, the biggest ones like 20, 30 people, but I would say it's not the groups, it's more family or multi-generational gatherings, or we even had a small weddings, but not specializing in mice, not specializing in wedding. For example, wedding we had only because that client was traveling through Slovenia and Croatia and they wanted to get married. Okay. So that's why it's just like a natural line that we support our advisors. But yeah, mostly FITs. We do offer a lot of private villas in some areas, mostly in Croatia, not so much in Slovenia and Montenegro. And of course, yachts, any type of the boats we offer in Croatia. So that's, but still at the end, FITs are like, I would say 85% of the business.
And also luxury, you're really focused on the luxury end of the market, right?
Yes, it's luxury end of the market. I started in that business in New York, and that's how I said, this is the only way I know, and this is the only way I like, and let's do that way. So yes, we offer only the 5-star properties. Of course, 4 stars that can't be 5 stars because they are situated in a small hilltop towns or old towns, but the service level is also 5 stars. So yes, everything is 5-star and personalized service. Only private tours, so we don't offer shared tours, shared boats, shared cruises. Nothing is shared, only it's private for each individual that we have.
Yeah, and actually, you mentioned something. You do small cruises because that's one of the best ways to see the area see the islands and everything else. And I assume you work with small cruise operators around that region, right?
So we work mostly with the if we offer the sailing, then it's on a bigger boat. So but again, it's a private charter. What we do also for the higher end clients who are on the cruises, we support them on the land. Okay. So if they need if they don't want to take cruises, the tours from the cruise companies, they also hire us to do their private tours on the ground. So mostly
that's interesting because I know a lot of people want to do that. They don't necessarily want to take the excursion offered by the cruise line. They'd rather customize it and have someone on the ground. So you do that business.
Yes, we do that for our advisors in States. And very importantly, what we do, we only work with the advisors. So we don't have a direct clients. I would say we have like 1 or 2% of direct clients, but that's like my friends from US.
Yeah.
But mostly 99% business is US, through US advisors.
Fantastic. Now,
And I love that way.
No, of course,
because they know the business.
No, absolutely. Then that's good, and you know how to work with them. How do you? I mean, obviously there are a few other DMCs out there focusing on Croatia. How do you kind of make your company stand out? What is your secret sauce, if you will?
So I would say, yeah, there is a few very good companies, very good DMCs with a great level of services, and I would say, shame on me to say this, but it's Croatia, Slovenia, and Montenegro are small countries, so there is not much that we can have a different product. So we have a similar products, but we always put a little small touch on each tours. We all like do different things. Like if somebody's offering in one region, we will offer in another region. We will put like a personal service surprise for the clients. And I would say, not from my point of view, but from point of view of advisors and feedback that we get from the advisors is that we are very fast. So we're very fast in replying. We are very fast in doing the proposals, very, very detail orientated. We jump on the calls. We jump on the calls with advisors and the clients. We are in communication with the client all the time on the ground if they need that, even with advisors and the client in the groups. So it's a small touches. And my personal specialization would be I work on big projects for the very, very important people and very high-end clients. So
you are hands-on with those people.
On a very, very VIP client. So that's what I do, and my team mostly working with other clients, which are at the end again 5-star clients.
Absolutely.
And yeah. So also what we do is we support the mega yachts. For example, we don't book a mega yachts, but we support these type of clients on the mega yachts when they need hands-on on location.
Sure. So pretty important to be hands-on with them, right?
Yeah. And I like to call that projects. It's not the trips. It's mostly projects because you work on it for a year, more than a year. Yeah. And you are on with the people on the ground, with securities, with the staff, with amazing specialized people in a certain area. So that's like something that I like personally and be creative in that part of the business. But different in terms of Croatia, I would say all DMCs are very good in Croatia who are on the US market and who are operating on the US market. Only difference is if we click, if we have the same vibe with advisors, you always have something very close to some people, and it's much easier to work with somebody and with somebody not. So difference. Products are similar, but we do the personal touch that we like to have put in it. And I personally like a lot of design and art, and I like to be very into people on location. So yeah, all local guides. So we will not have a guide from Zagreb taking care of our clients in Split. So it will be all local and socialized. So yeah.
No, that's
the small difference, I would say.
Yeah, that's great. Now, we already talked about why you did expand into Slovenia and Montenegro, but give me a typical trip you would organize that would take in both Croatia and maybe somebody says, well, I'm there, I want to do Slovenia and Montenegro. How would you orchestrate that kind of trip?
So I would say we have really a lot of them combining all three countries this year as we talk in the pre and post season, because the people have more time. So I would say for the trip that long, it looks small on a map, but it's pretty long. So I would say not minimum like 2 weeks, because then majority of clients fly to Venice, spend one night. We don't do that part in Italy, but they stay in Venice. They see Venice for 1 or 2 nights. We pick them up in Venice and then go to Slovenia, spend like 4 nights, 5 nights in Slovenia, do Croatia, first North Coast, which is Istria, and then go below through the national parks, come to Dalmatia, jump to the islands with the private boats, or we can do also the public ones, depending on the client's budget, but mostly it's a private boats, and then finish in Dubrovnik, stay in Dubrovnik. And then Montenegro, I must say, in the last few years, Montenegro has a shorter stay for our clients. So it's mostly, we never had longer than 5 nights in Montenegro. But mostly it's like a 3 nights, to be very, very honest.
Well, it sounds like it's kind of like if you've done all this other stuff and you go to Montenegro just to relax for the last
R&R. It's
Yeah.
mostly R&R and few experiences like a boat or like winery, but it's mostly R&R and they chill and enjoy and then fly home refreshed after whole this trip that they had. Really focusing a lot of nature, history, a lot of gastronomy. So gastronomy, wine, olive oil, cheese producing. Yeah, and nature is beautiful everywhere. Sea is amazing in Croatia. I would say, as you mentioned, mountains, rivers in Slovenia, beaches along down there in Dalmatia, and then finishing in Montenegro. So I think it's a perfect trip.
Mhm.
If you don't have a 2 weeks, I
Yeah.
always say separate it. Try to do like Slovenia and North Croatia,
Okay.
or do Dalmatia and Montenegro. So everything is pretty doable and easy. We do always private drivers and
Yeah.
cars, but if clients wants to do self-drive, they can easily do it because
Okay. Yeah.
the roads are nice, parkways are good, it's easy to navigate, GPS works everywhere, so it's very convenient. But if you want to explore more and go to the smaller places and don't get lost to find a restaurant, then we always say like, yeah, it's easier to have a driver and a car. So,
Although you
but
also
it's doable.
you have a pretty good little airline that takes you around as well, if you want.
Yes.
I actually was lucky enough to fly in the cockpit with the pilots once when I was going from Split to Zagreb.
Cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I
And
never
it's
done that in my
beautiful
life.
view.
Oh
It's
God, it was
beautiful
great. It was
view.
great. I couldn't believe it. I don't think we can do that here in the States anymore, but we don't get that opportunity. Now, talk a little bit about the hotels that you use. Obviously we know there are a lot of resorts, big resorts that have come into Montenegro, and it seems every time I turn around, there are new hotels being built, certainly in Croatia. I'm not so sure about Slovenia, but there's a lot of options now, right?
So I would say Croatia. It's a little bit in this situation. It's not many. There's no big hotel name groups as in Montenegro,
Right.
as I mentioned. I would say the biggest developments are right now in Montenegro, and it's still growing. And that small area of Boka Bay, it's just producing more and more hotels. Croatia is in a different. I would say yes, there is a planning of 4 seasons still in the planning. So we'll see. They say it's happening. Amman also same thing, but it's mostly on the south, not much on the north. But there is a big Croatian hotel name groups that are very good in the region in Croatia, not so much in internationally and in Europe. And they're rebranding their old hotels and renovating, and they're buying new properties which were old hotels and opening a new one. So that will happen in the next 2 years. So Split will get a few good hotels. Island Vis, which doesn't have a good hotels, it's like there's just a few small boutique style and 4-star hotels, will get the new hotels. Like Istria is also getting smaller hotels. So I would say Croatia is a mixture, more locally, more European money, I would say, and smaller boutique style, family style, heritage style hotels. It's in Croatia. Big hotel name groups are not coming in. There is a story about it in between Croatians. Why? But yeah, I'm not going there.
Okay.
And Slovenia, on the other way, it's a more boutique style, smaller hotels, family run, or investors which are totally not into travel industry or hospitality industry, but they are investing money in the small, nice properties because they can. So I would say Slovenia, it's going totally in a different direction, smaller, nicer, boutique style properties who are more focusing on gastronomy, sustainability, and a local producing. So when you combine all three, so you have everything. So you have you want to be focused on a small and petite, or you want to be have everything, or you want to be in a big name group. So you can really explore and experience all that in this region.
That's fantastic. And so, and you just mentioned something that I always try to tell people: the cuisine in Croatia and your region is wonderful. I mean, it really is. We were talking earlier that I stayed at this one place, Zori, which is just a little restaurant with 4 villas now. That the food was, it actually
Yeah.
started as a restaurant, and then there were other places that had Michelin star restaurants and in the place. So this.
Yes, a lot of Michelin star restaurants, but very and it's growing and growing, of course. Same is in Slovenia and in Croatia. But I would say in the last 2 years, the feedbacks that we get from the clients, they want more local.
Yeah.
They say, look, we have fine dining everywhere. We have wine and dine in a home. So what we want to see and what we want to really taste, it's a really local thing. And so I think I think in Croatia, I think we also need to more, I would say, take care of our local cuisine,
Absolutely.
small local restaurants. Not every old hotel owner of the restaurant should go into fancy fine dining.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was a part of the one part of the last few years that people were thinking, oh, we need to all of us need to have a fine dining. No, people really want the local more and more.
Well,
local.
fine dining can be your local cuisine too. It just,
Exactly.
And that was my experience too. So no, that's one of the things that I think people forget, that this is a culinary destination. So now let me ask you a couple of quick questions so we can close this out. First of all, what's the best way that our viewers, our travel advisors, can work with you? How would you suggest they reach out with you and partner with you to create these journeys?
So they can always reach out through all our free websites. So there's a J2 Collection website, and there's Journey to Croatia and Slovenia and Montenegro website. But as I mentioned, I really appreciate our travel advisors in US. So we work closely with them, and majority of clients do have their travel advisors in US, and we work closely with top agencies in US. Okay. So it's not hard to reach us, and they will definitely we can connect directly with the advisor or directly with the client. So it's for me the relationships and with the travel industry is the most important. But if there is a direct lines, they can always reach out through our websites. Very responsive. So all the emails mostly come through me, and then I gave to my team who will work on a proposal.
Fantastic.
Also on the social, we are everywhere. So they can reach us on the social too.
Well, actually, give us, what's your URL for your website?
It's www.journey2croatia.com.
And that will take in the other 2 destinations as well, right?
Then it's the same thing, but it's a journey2slovenia.com, journey2 Montenegro.com.
Okay, so you do have separate websites for those areas.
We do. Yes.
They're connected, and then you'll find numbers and emails and all kinds of things there.
Exactly, and also there's a j2collection.com.
Oh, you got a bunch. You got a whole lot of that.
I have a bunch, because we want to. What we want to do is these websites will be in the future more focused on stories, on the blogs, on promoting the producers, promoting the people who are our partners, because without them we would not work. So that would be mostly because of that we have all 3 websites.
Now, anything else you want to tell our advisors out there about your company?
So not much. We said everything, but yes, happy to work with everybody and show them the beauty of Croatia, Slovenia, and Montenegro. And if they have any questions, they can reach us. I hope that we will promote more and more these beautiful free countries.
Well, Croatia is indeed a beautiful country, and really had became popular. It was the country that was open in Europe for right after post-pandemic. And then to find out that you can also go to these other wonderful countries, Slovenia and Montenegro, using your services. I definitely want to see both of those countries one of these days. I've been to Croatia a couple of times now, and I've traveled around for 10 days. Went back just briefly last year. It is indeed a beautiful country, but so are Montenegro and so are Slovenia. So I'm glad you're kind of pulling it all together here. And creating these wonderful opportunities. Ivana, I want to thank you very much for spending some time with us to talk about your company and to talk about a region that really has grown in popularity so much in just the last few years. And I don't think, and actually that would be the question. How is travel right now to your destinations?
This is the funny thing that this was the longest season we had, so it was the middle of November. Before it was really, we are closing like in the end of September, October, and it's starting already beginning of March. So there is no seasons anymore. So it's we work all year round, and even the Christmas, New Year. Dubrovnik was open, Istria was open, everything was open. So yeah, and as weather is changing, there's almost no winter. So I think we will have a good
we're
weather.
experiencing that all over here in New York too. As you used to live in, we don't get much snow either. Well, again, Ivana, thank you so much. And yeah, so get booking your clients here with J2 Collection and get them over there, and really any time of the year. So again, I'm looking forward to one of these days getting over there to see those countries again very soon. And congratulations on what you've built here.
Thank you so much, and I would be more than happy to welcome you here and hope to see you soon. Yeah, exactly.
Hope to see you as well. I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.